This is the video series on artificial intelligence in business. This video is the second part of the role of artificial intelligence in Industry 4.0. I am Ibrahim Kuşçu, the CEO of the Next Minds. In the first video, we introduced Industry 4.0 and explained it in detail. Then we discussed the role of artificial intelligence in making Industry 4.0 a successful one. We started the first video with the discussion of how technology influences our life, especially internet and web-based technologies. The reason for that was especially the recent technologies such as the cloud, augmented reality, virtual reality, 3D printing, etc. They influence our lives very much, not only the economic or the business life. There, we raised the question whether technology is helping us, improving our lifestyle and creating conveniences, or is it imposing on us or dominating what we will be doing in our daily lives. So, in this video, we will be looking at some of the applications of Industry 4.0, especially with artificial intelligence, how these applications influence our lives. We will then discuss pros and cons of Industry 4.0. That discussion will include exploring intended and unintended consequences of Industry 4.0, especially when all these connected devices and objects are all around us and we are influenced by the decisions that are made by these objects. What does it mean to be a human being among all these connected and intelligent objects? As for the artificial intelligence applications in Industry 4.0, we provided a number of examples in manufacturing. Such examples included predictive modeling, real-time business intelligence, and many types of automation. So artificial intelligence helps to create smart factories with the use of audio and video possibilities between machine and human beings. The applications of artificial intelligence in Industry 4.0 is not limited to just manufacturing or production. It is also applicable in other functional areas of businesses, such as marketing, customer services, human resources, and logistics. For example, chatbots, whether they are used internally in human resource management to communicate with the employees or externally in support of customer services to deal with customer complaints, are typical examples of how artificial intelligence is being used in other functional areas of businesses. Also, predicting or anticipating the customer demand timely and in a precise manner in the sales department. In other functional area, in logistics, the use of autonomous or semi-autonomous transport machines are also good examples of use of artificial intelligence in other functional areas of businesses that operate in Industry 4.0. Clearly, such good applications of artificial intelligence can be seen across the sectors, including healthcare or financial services. It should now be very clear that Industry 4.0, with all the recent technologies such as the cloud, big data, 3D printing, augmented reality, virtual reality, and especially with artificial intelligence and the connectivity through the mobile and wireless networks, is not only influencing our manufacturing processes, the business life, or at the wider scale, the economical life, but also it will be influencing our social interactions and social communications. Living among all these intelligently connected devices which are working seamlessly around us, and also us being intelligently connected to these devices, should mean something very important to us. Yes, in fact, with the advances in artificial intelligence and Industry 4.0, something very important is happening to our lives. All these applications in our social and business life has consequences. Some of them are intended consequences, but others will be unintended consequences. So far, we have enumerated a number of intended consequences of Industry 4.0 applications with artificial intelligence that helps our lives and improves the quality of our lives and solve many problems in business and also for our social interactions. How about unintended consequences? Unintended consequences may be two types. Some of these could be a positive unintended consequences, and some could be negative unintended consequences. An example of positive unintended consequences is that the Industry 4.0 will evidently remove most of the jobs that we are doing at the moment. According to the research, almost 60 to 70% of the jobs that exist today will not exist in the near future. Evidently, Industry 4.0, similar to other industrial revolutions, will also create new jobs. There has been a great worry about the loss of these jobs due to Industry 4.0. But similar to other industrial revolutions, Industry 4.0 will also create new jobs that has been unseen before and unheard before. This can be seen very clearly that in the areas of data science and data analytics, there are new job titles that are being created and being sought for. So, creation of all these new jobs is one of the examples of positive unintended consequences. How about negative unintended consequences, of which we often have no idea how they will come about and what they will be? Perhaps one of the significant unintended consequences that we have to worry about is what does it mean to be a human being among all these connected machines, and what does it mean as human beings connect to the machines? This connection could be through artificial body parts that we are replacing for missing ones. This could be for a missing leg or for a missing arm. This connection can also be through implanted chips in our bodies. Some of these implanted chips could be very useful, for example, monitoring our health when we are at home or when we are sleeping, and alerting emergency services for predicting a possible heart attack. At the advanced level, also think of new developments in genome editing. It could be possible that through these artificial genes we can implant into our body some sensors or at least some devices that can send information from within our body or from within our organs. So here something very interesting might happen. Intelligent mechanics, intelligent machines, intelligent artificial biology will be meeting natural biology. Despite knowing all these beneficial applications, what would it mean to us as human beings if we become human 4.0? By human 4.0, what I mean is a human being which is closely connected to the Industry 4.0 systems and which acts and behaves like Industry 4.0 mechanical, robotics or artificial intelligence systems. In this case, what happens to our personal and social value system? What happens to love? What happens to care, compassion and honesty? Whether intended or unintended, there will be consequences of artificial intelligence in Industry 4.0 because this is a disruptive technology. Hopefully, it will not be a destructive one. As professionals of artificial intelligence, it is important for us to talk about consequences of artificial intelligence and Industry 4.0. But not only talk about it, but also do some work in order to prevent some of the negative aspects of artificial intelligence and increase the positive influence of artificial intelligence. In this respect, there has been an accumulation of work already. In this video series on artificial intelligence in business, we will be covering risks of artificial intelligence, ethical considerations of artificial intelligence as well. For example, professionals alerted by the possible loss of jobs in the labor market has created some economical models to find out something called universal income. Thinking about possible loss of jobs is very much justified. For example, robots or mechanical intelligent systems could do any repetitive tasks. So the more a repetitive task a job is, the more likely that it will not happen in the future. An example of this is workers in the assembly line, which always do carry out repetitive tasks. The more unique a job is, the more difficult for artificial intelligence systems to simulate or imitate. A good example of this job of a craftsman or an artist. A craftsman would create some unique objects. An artist would create a painting that will be full of inspirations that will only be possible to be created by a human. Because as humans, we have something called qualia in philosophy. Qualia refers to all of the qualitative aspects of us, our emotions, for example. If a job requires qualia or a value system, it will be very difficult for AI systems to be able to imitate or replace it. Examples of these are nurses, doctors, judges, and social workers, especially for elderly care. So what will unemployed people among all these almost 8 billion people living in the world will do? What will happen all these 60% and 70% of the jobs lost? Universal income will be the surplus created by Industry 4.0, and this will be shared by all those who will be losing their jobs. But fortunately, there will be other jobs that will be created by Industry 4.0 and artificial intelligence applications. Another concern about artificial intelligence in Industry 4.0 is about increased inequalities geographically or within a country. It is very clear that those who own the technology or who manage the technology, those who have capital to be able to create those technologies, those who have skills to be able to create those technologies will be benefiting more from the developments in Industry 4.0. Those countries with less income and also low level of skills will have delayed or even no benefit from artificial intelligence or Industry 4.0. The same is true for those people who are living in the same country benefiting from advanced artificial intelligence and Industry 4.0. Even within the same country, there will be bigger and higher discrepancies between low income and low skilled people than the high income and high skilled people, because the demand for the high skilled people, and especially in the IT world, will increase and they will have higher benefits and higher income. So distribution of all the benefits coming from Industry 4.0 will not be equal for everyone or every country. It is interesting to know that 5% of the world population manages 95% of the wealth that exists in the world today. This is also related to how big monopolistic IT companies are creating disruption in the business competition. Small businesses of the same type can no longer compete with Google or Facebook, or retail businesses can no longer compete with Amazon or Alibaba. We are also seeing a number of other companies to have domination in the business world, including Airbnb, Netflix, and also Uber. An important concern about a negative unintended consequences of artificial intelligence in Industry 4.0 is related to cybersecurity. If there are any security breaches, this will have great impact on the privacy of the lives in terms of health information, in terms of other personal information of the people being shared, sometimes willingly or maliciously, or being in the hands of organizations and people that could use this in a way to harm people, persons, or the society as a whole. So enabling greater security of these all connected intelligent devices and objects and robots are very important. Before concluding this video, I would like to go back to the discussion we started at the beginning of the first part of the video on artificial intelligence and Industry 4.0. We also mentioned the same at the beginning of this video, that technology, especially artificial intelligence and Industry 4.0, will have direct influence in our social life, through business life, perhaps through economical consequences of Industry 4.0. Throughout the years, technology developed perhaps in a kind of flat graphics, but in the last 100 years, maybe more than just 50 years, it has developed really in an exponential rate. And this development creates a pressure on our lifestyle. On the one hand, this speed and imposition of technology is becoming a little bit unmanageable by the society and by the individuals. But there is also perhaps not so obvious influence of technology, Industry 4.0 and artificial intelligence on us. Technologies in Industry 4.0, including artificial intelligence, the cloud, the big data analysis, the virtual reality, augmented reality, and 3D printing, etc., all of these are important work in the development of science. Scientific work and the requirements of the businesses lead us certain precision and also certain optimization. While precision and optimization is important for the science and also for the businesses in terms of, say, maximizing profits and minimizing loss, etc., we human beings and the natural world that we live in is not precise nor it is optimum. We always make errors. Nature works with adaptation, not through optimizing or working in precision. Similar to nature, adaptation is also an important part of us as human beings. Adaptation means responding correctly to the changing environments, but optimization and precision, on the other hand, makes it difficult to respond to the changing environments. So there is a beauty in imperfection. In fact, imperfection leads to flexibility and flexibility to adaptation. Those systems, solutions, or businesses which are robust and rigid is not going to be able to respond positively to changes in the environment and adapt, and perhaps will not live longer. So an important concern is the more Industry 4.0 and artificial intelligence and those other new recent IT technologies are prevalent around us, the more we become mechanical and move away from those things that makes us human beings. Our jobs as AI professionals is to know more about the unintended negative consequences of Industry 4.0 or AI and the similar technologies so that we can minimize the harm. In this second part of this video on the role of artificial intelligence in Industry 4.0, we did talk about some of the applications of artificial intelligence, and also we did talk about how technology and artificial intelligence, Industry 4.0, through its recent advances in the IT technologies, influences our business life, social life, and personal life. We did spend a considerable time and discussion on intended and unintended consequences of AI in Industry 4.0. Then we made it very clear that the job of all of the professionals in this area is to make artificial intelligence and Industry 4.0 a safe and a beneficial one. Please don't forget and make a good effort to do the activity that follows.